4-0 to the death, yeah, he said it. Baltimore, BodyMore, what's the difference? Sipping new bottles like I'm Patrick Brewing. Get into it, time to be a favorite nuisance. Stone Cold.
Welcome back, another episode of BodyMore Bottles, Baltimore's #1 alcohol review show with your host, Fonzarelli, a.k.a. the Bourbon Store of Baltimore, a.k.a. Whiskey Chamberlain. And today we got a special episode here for y'all. We done did the verses before, but today we got a triple threat, let's just say. So, but before we get into that, let's take a quick second to let y'all know I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to take a break before we even get started for our sponsorship. Let's go ahead and get a word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Truth Outfitters. Established in 2004, Truth Outfitters is an abstract, expressive clothing line. They've made a name for themselves in Baltimore by selling hand-painted, custom pieces over the years. Through its texture, look, and wit, their clothing line visually reflects the beauties and ironies of life itself from their own perspective. Truth Outfitters is designed at a street level to meet you where you are honestly and push you forward styled in a dope look. Now, in their 17th year, Truth continues to create products that convey their unadulterated truth and ultimately challenge you in the voice of your own style. Follow them at Truth Ensembles or go on their website, truthoutfittersapparel.com, to cop some dope garments. Where art, fashion, and honesty meet, you get truth. And make sure you put that truth in all caps. Alright, make sure y'all follow sponsors on Instagram at Truth Ensembles. Now, before we get into the main event, a couple weeks ago I did a episode where I used my Do Your Whiskey kit, where you get your whiskey, preferably a white whiskey, something straight off the still that hasn't been aged in a barrel, and you can add wood chips to it to flavor it, and then you can add some. You keep that in there for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you add some other little flavorings that they offer in there for another couple weeks. This is what it turned out to be. I used the regular, white oak chips, left it in there for about 6 weeks, and then I added some flavor. I think I used like the little orange flavor, the vanilla chai flavoring, and a little bit of the coffee flavor, I think, in there. And this is what I came out with. So I didn't want to make an episode with me just adding the flavor for 2 days or whatever. That would have just been real short. So I waited till now, and we're going to do a taste test. So y'all already saw the color. It's a little light, but I mean, instead of it being aged in a barrel for a few years, it had some wood chips in it for a month and a half. So there's the color on it. As you can see there. The nose is very kind of like spicy. Like not spicy as in hot and heat, but like it smells of spices. Like heavy cinnamon smell. Let's go for the taste test. Cheers. Now, if you watch back that episode, you'll see I use moonshine to make it. So you would expect it to have that harsh moonshine flavor, but not at all. It's very smooth now. I don't know if you can't really see the legs on it, but It's very smooth. That cinnamon flavor is coming through. A little bit of that citrus, the orange. But mostly cinnamon. I think I got an idea for what I'm going to try with the next time. I might take those wood chips and burn them a little bit to add some char to it, like so it will resemble the inside of a barrel. And I'll put that in there to let that age the spirit a little bit, so maybe some of those vanilla flavors will come out a little bit more. But without further ado, let's get into this episode. Y'all know the motto: we don't come here to lollygag. Let's get straight into this body bag. Let me go get a water to cleanse the palate first. Shout out to the good brothers at the Black and Brown podcast for sending me this shirt. Much appreciation to y'all on that. Cleanse the palate a little bit. All right. Up first, let's go with the standard bar and wheat whiskeys. This will be a wheated bourbon episode. So we all know by now that for a whiskey to be considered a bourbon, it has to, one, be made here in America. Two, it has to be 51% corn. The mash bill or recipe has to be at least 51% corn. So over half of it has to be corn. But for it to be a wheated bourbon, the next highest grain in that mash bill has to be wheat. I don't know the mash bill of these, but they're all wheated. So the next highest grain is going to be wheat in these. So the first one that we're going to review is a standard in the wheated bourbon community. We're going to go with the Weller Antique 107. Now, Weller is made by Buffalo Trace. The rumor is that if you know about Pappy Van Winkle, that's also a wheated bourbon, but it's like one of the highly sought after wheated bourbons. The rumor is that this Weller is Pappy that didn't quite meet the standards to be called Pappy. So it's like a poor man's Pappy. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with this Weller 107. The reason that it's called 107 is because it's 53.5% alcohol by volume, 107 proof. On the back it says, a true whiskey pioneer, W.L. Weller is credited by many for being the first to produce Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey using wheat. Instead of rye, his mash bill instead of rye in his mash bill, William LaRue Weller's wheated bourbon became so popular that Weller was forced to put a green thumbprint on the barrels to ensure that customers were receiving the real deal. This 107 proof bourbon whiskey tastes sweet yet bold, with unusual floral notes and hints of vanilla in reference to the legacy of William LaRue Weller. All right. A little bit heavy pour there. A little heavier of a pour than I wanted to, but y'all know what we do here. You can see the color there. Nice copper, I'd say. Not too dark, not too light. On the nose, you get that sweet aromas. You get some of the vanilla. Yeah, the vanilla, the charred oak coming through. Let's go for the taste test. Cheers. It's sweet, usual vanilla caramel, but it is some secondary notes in there. I want to say a little bit fruity, a little, maybe that's that floral, those floral notes that they described on the back. It's, it feels like 107 proof bourbon. Like, it's a little harsh. It's not as smooth as I would like, but I mean, it's not bad. I would give that a solid 3.6. Yeah, 3.6 body bags on a BodyMore bottle scale for that one. Up next, we have a black-owned brand coming out of New England, I think it was. I think they're up there, New England. Let me see. Does it say on here? Oh, New Jersey. I want to say they're from New England somewhere, though, because I think it's Connecticut. Because they have a episode on a steady pour with these guys. If y'all, two episodes actually, a part one and a part two. If you want to learn more about this company, you can go to Spotify or Apple Music. I mean, not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and tap into a steady pour. Follow them on Instagram at a steady pour. But this company that I have here is 1970 something. Group of black guys, friends, group of friends, African Americans. They got together and like to drink bourbon, so they decided to make their own. And this is what they came up with. This is their straight bourbon whiskey, straight wheated bourbon whiskey, coming in at the same 53.5% alcohol by volume, 107 proof, as you can see there. Everything's handwritten on the label. I like that a lot. I like the shape of this bottle. Age 3 years. It tells you on the back an age statement. I like that a lot. Y'all guys are gaining points with me already. As you can see, I already tapped into this bottle and I know what it is, but we're going to go ahead and give y'all a nice little review for it. But as I said before, if you tap into a steady pour, you can hear that story. I'm not about to go over it right now for y'all too in depth, but because those guys did an awesome job with their interview with them, and they deserve the listens and the views. So make sure y'all go tap in and check them out because they got a real dope story, and it's something that I stand behind as well. Something that we all should support, I believe. So make sure y'all tap into that. And you can get this bottle from TSR, tasteselectrepeat.com. You can go on there and grab yourself a bottle. So without further ado, y'all know the motto. Let's get into it. You see the color there? A little bit darker than that Weller 107, I think. The nose is a little bit sweeter. But you get that usual vanilla, caramel to brown sugar. Not so much of that burnt oak on the nose. Let's go for the taste test. Cheers, pause. This one's a lot smoother. It doesn't taste like a 100 proof or 107 proof bourbon. Not that much of a burn. The flavor is sweet. You definitely get the floral notes that the Weller talked about. I can definitely tell there's some floral notes in there. Something else I can't quite put my finger on, but that's a tasty bourbon. I recommend it. I'm going to give that one 4.3 body bags out of 5. Good job, gentlemen. If y'all see this, salute to y'all. Keep up the good work. this won't be my last bottle of 1970 something. Jump of the gun. And last but not least, we got a private barrel pick here. This is also a weeder coming from Wilderness Trail. This one is 54.05% alcohol by volume. That's 108.11%. But this barrel was picked by some good brothers at the Black Bourbon Run 3. Shout out to those guys, Paul, Black Bourbon Maverick. And you can buy it from OC Bottle Shops. So make sure y'all give him a follow on Instagram, Jeff Hill, OC Bottle Shops. He will ship you your bourbon or any liquor that he have in his store. He'll ship it to you anywhere in America, I do believe. So download his app or just holler at him or send him a DM on Instagram, allegedly. But as you can see there, this is that private barrel pick. This ain't the regular Wilderness Trail weed. So let's get ourselves a pour without further ado. And Wilderness Trail does a good job. I like that shape of that bottle. You know, it's not an everyday bottle. It's something different. They got nice labeling bow on the back, that sticker. Only you can pour good whiskey. And you see that smoky guy. Oh, it's not even smoky. You can see on his belt, his name is Jeff. That's Jeff Hill, OC Bottle Shops. And he got himself a bottle right there, you know. So only you can pour good whiskey. You can see there the color is about the same as that 1970 something. But nah, this was a little bit lighter, I think. Let's see. What y'all think? Yeah, a little bit, about the same, maybe a little bit darker, maybe a little bit lighter. Anyway, same thing on the nose, basically. Those normal vanillas, it's a sweet aroma, caramel. I kind of want to say this one has like a wheat aroma, like a cream of wheat aroma to it. But let's go on for the taste test. Cheers. Now, this one is smoother than the Weller 107, and this is 108, but it's not as smooth as that 1970 something. So, on the smoothness, the easeability to drink scale, it's going to go number one, 1970 something. Coming in second, this barrel pick from Wilderness Trail from OC Bottle Shops, done on the Black Bourbon Run 3, and then the Weller 103 coming in dead last. On the flavor, very sweet. I want to say like some candied fruits, like a candy apple. Uh, the usual vanilla, some of that brown sugar a little bit. But mainly I'm getting like candy apples, candy fruits, you know. I really like the flavor on that one. I'm going to give that one a 4.25. So I think I'm going to go 1970 something coming in at number one, the barrel pick of the Wilderness Trail coming in at number two, and the Weller 107 coming in at number three. Because the other two were a little bit more tasty, a little bit more sweet. They had a little bit more flavor to them, you know, and they both were way smoother and one of them was a higher proof. And I'm all about the high proof bourbons, the high proof whiskey, the barrel proof. Bring it on. I don't want to sit and have to drink 65 drinks a night to catch a buzz. Just give me a nice 3-4 pours, and I'm good for the night. I might be asleep before you know it. So that was this episode. Nice little weeded bourbon. Because last year the best bourbon that I had was the Bainbridge TSR Black and Brown podcast barrel pick that they had that was 100% wheat. That was the best whiskey that I had all year last year. So we're getting more into the wheated bourbons because I like the wheat, I guess. I like cream of wheat too. I say I like cream of wheat more than oatmeal. So we're going to get more into the wheats this year. So let's check out these wheated bourbons. Hopefully this encourage y'all to go out and try some wheated bourbons, some wheated whiskeys. That might be your twist. You never know. This has been another episode of BodyMore Bottles. Y'all know what I'm here to tell y'all. Be safe but stay dangerous. Make sure y'all drink responsibly. And of course, the number one thing that I'm here to tell you, body them bottles. Peace. Bodies. They're all dead.